Okay, I'm gonna see what happens if I do other things. So let's try to make a deal. Then I remembered, demons had a conscience. They weren't heartless without reason. She could be reasoned with, in theory. She seemed like a businesswoman. Wait!
What? You're wasting my time.
What about a deal, huh? Diana raised an eyebrow. I was afraid she wasn't one to listen. What if she was as ruthless as I imagined her to be?
I'm listening.
Ooh. These memories are precious to me, but they're not worth me losing my life.
Of course.
I mean, if I die, people will wonder and try to find explanations to why I died or where it disappeared to.
Then just hand over your memories.
What have I traded to you instead? You seem like a reasonable businesswoman. A trade is better than forcing me to give in, right? This was insane. I didn't know if she was willing to listen. She already had me hanging over a pit of death. The only thing I could hope for was her being forgiving enough to listen to reason.
Well, speak your terms. What do you want in exchange?
Ooh. Well, what can you give me?
I'm a demon. I can give you anything within reason. Money, men, women, power. Name it. Just make it worth the price.
Oh, Christ. I'm gonna save this one there, just in case. Dang, dude. I'm just gonna choose power for now, but yeah.
What kind of power?
Anything. I just want to have it.
You want power, but don't know what kind of power you want. Interesting, human.
I watched as Diana walked over to me and gripped my chin. She examined my face, which made me wonder what the heck she was looking for. Did I have something on it? Diana's eyes seemed to almost glow as she looked into my eyes, which were both scared me and made me feel warm and fuzzy. Diana nodded her head, a small smirk panting on her face.
Well, since you didn't specify what kind of power...
I raised my eyebrow. What was she thinking? Diana stepped back and tapped her fingers on her crossed arms, trying to think. I was unsure what ran through her mind, but I hoped it was good. As if coming up with a solution, Diana finally lowered her arms and nodded to herself.
Very well, human. Power you want, so power you shall have.
Diana snapped her fingers, which caused a large beam of purple and black light shoot up from the pit beast below me. I began consumed in it, shutting my eyes tightly. The world around me became dark, and I didn't want to open my eyes for any reason. I couldn't feel myself fall. I couldn't even feel my own body. Darkness surrounded my body, and I felt weightless in its embrace. Was this what I wanted? Where was I? Was I dead? What was going to happen to me? Well, I was in darkness. I didn't know what was happening, and I felt like screaming, but in a darkness like this, who would answer? I could hear my voice empty into the darkness without echo. I was in an abyss, left alone with no one to turn to. Was this freedom? Was this power?
You're too chaotic for the world of humans, little girl. I'm going to give you something very valuable, so you best not squander the chance.
I looked around trying to find Diana. What was she talking about?
You're about to be reborn. You will be reborn into a powerful creature.
Shit.
So powerful, the demon lord himself will learn fear.
That's
And
not
I'm going to
what
give
I
you the power
asked
to defeat
for. I felt my body quake in pain suddenly, forcing me to curl over my body and cry out. Yeah. My clothes burned off of me, and I watched in fright as my hands and feet began to darken into an inky and dangerous purple tint. The color traveled through my skin and made my body twitch in both pain and fear. I couldn't help but scream in agony at the pain rushing through me. It felt like my skin was burning away and being replaced by a new shell. It was a torturous mutation. I could feel marks burn themselves into my flesh, marking my body in a purple tattoo gallery. As my head began to feel heavy, I gripped onto the sides of my head, only to feel something growing from each side. I gripped onto the new additions to my head and gasped. Horns. Was I becoming a devil? No. A demon? A demon. Yes. My life flashed before my eyes and burned away like flowers in a wildfire. Each memory I held dear to me no longer existed in my mind, for I could only accept darkness. I was a demon. The name Azair reverberated in my head. Was it my name? Was it a name of someone close to me? I couldn't place a name, so I placed it in darkness in my mind as my first memory. I closed my eyes and breathed. I opened them and was staring into a castle hall, seated on a throne. I heard shouts and pleadings for help and aid from the servants around me. They were all scared of the threat that was coming our way. One even approached me and asked what we should do. I stared at the demon servant, recognizing him as my underling. Another new memory. I crossed my legs and thought briefly. A demon lord is a powerful demon willing to kill for territory. New memory. I smirked. Oh, snap. I felt new memories of the world around me drop from the darkness of my mind, telling me everything I needed to know about my situation. I was a succubus and a new ruler of a territory the Demon King wanted. I wasn't going to let him take it so easily. I wouldn't allow it. I watched as my underlings scrambled under my command and instructed them specifically in what to do and how to prepare for my new land for its intruder. But then I remembered. Azair gave me the power to defeat the Demon Lord while she was out on some mission or another. I would take it and become a new being. Would she return? Not likely. She was too weak to return after ripping open a tear to the human world. She would be on her little mission forever, leaving me with her kingdom until she found a powerful enough human to grant her access back. Oh. My mind allowed me to see all of the power I had and smirked at the thought of each spell in my mind being powerful enough to wipe out kingdoms. Yes, this is what I wanted. This was my calling. I was free to carve my own path. I had the power to do it. This was my happily ever after. And I was surely going to enjoy every minute of it. Oh, this is the end of my kingdom. Well then, there was that ending. Oh, they didn't have this pretty outro thing in the other one. Oh shit. Okay, so I was skipping and I just clicked glare into her soul and fucking Diana's outline is around the set.
Sheesh, Anderson. You look like you saw a ghost.
Guess I did.
I think she saw underneath Lisette's cake face and saw the devil itself.
Oh,
What the hell? Okay, I'm gonna see what happens if I just give her my memories. I remembered the way the boys helped me organize the house party and helped me home after Malika's ordeal. But then I remembered, I'm only human. I wasn't a demon. I wasn't special. The world of magic was too large for me. I already had a world to face without magic being involved. I felt a wave of sadness run through me, replaying the memories of all that had happened in the past few days one last time before speaking up. Fine, take my memories. I couldn't keep them. They were beyond my world. They were beyond what I needed to know. I was never meant to know of them. Diana nodded.
Glad you understand now.
The pit beast below me closed its jaws, vanishing into nothing as I was lowered to the ground. I stood up straight and looked to Diana, resolved. Diana sighed before closing her hand and muttering Latin phrases under her breath loud enough for me to barely hear. She then opened her hand and revealed a small purple vial. What is that?
A memory potion. It will remove all of the memories of demons and magic from your mind. With the memories gone, you can live your life as free as you want.
What about the boys?
I have a spell for them. As soon as you drink that potion, you sign your contract with me, and I will take the boys back to where they belong.
Will they remember me?
I'll make sure they won't. They won't even remember ever thinking about coming to the human world.
Why didn't you use it before now? Why do I have to drink it knowingly?
Because demon magic isn't black and white, dear. The one catch is that the potion has to be drunk with full natural consent. So I can't just slip it into your chocolate milk or pour it into your mouth as you sleep. That's the downside of good succubus magic.
So I'll be...
A plain, boring human. No potential, no abilities, no memories to even have abilities. You'll be a plain Jane girl in a plain Jane world.
Well, that's depressing. I tilted my head back and chugged a drink down, feeling its magic already starting to do its work as it reached the inside of my mouth. I felt dizzy and slick, but I sucked down every last drop of the liquid. I felt the memories of the boys fade away. I never met them in my house when I moved in. I never was attacked by Malix or his goons. I never was kidnapped. I never met Diana. As I finished drinking, my body felt weak, almost becoming unable to continue standing up. My vision was blurred and fuzzy, and I couldn't help but let my eyes shut. I asked for this. I wouldn't have the boys protecting me anymore. I didn't even open my eyes when I finally fell forward into Diana's arms.
It's for your own good, sweetie. Forget about it and be normal. I'm sorry.
I felt my mind slowly relax. There were no demons, no devils, no magic to drive me crazy. Everything was normal. Everything was peaceful. Everything was ordinary. Just the way Diana wanted. Just the way I wanted. Eventually, the morning arrived and the sun screamed at me to get up. Surprisingly, I woke up before my alarm clock, which was nice. I stretched out and quickly got dressed, getting ready for school. I went over in my mind what had happened over the weekend, suddenly feeling wary. I moved in Friday night, held a house party Saturday, enjoyed my day Sunday. Yep, sounds about right. I scooped up my bag and headed downstairs to the dining room. The room was empty and I felt hungry. I needed to eat something. I made myself some quick toast and coffee, needing a jump start. I felt drained and did not want to fall asleep in class. Something bothered me, though. My house felt empty, or at least emptier than when I came in for some reason. I couldn't put my finger on it, but it slightly bothered me. I finished my food and quickly rushed to the front, waiting for Naomi's car, and confident that nothing was ever going to happen. I avoid talking about what had happened yesterday. I'll be riding with you guys from now on and to and from school. As we entered the school, we quickly gathered our things from our lockers and headed to class. There were no events to my surprise. Naomi and Susie took the seats around me, Susie in front of me, Naomi beside me, before the class bell rang and the class was greeted by our teacher. History wasn't as boring as economics, but I still managed to space out in the class just the same. I decided to keep my eyes on my notebook and began to scribble random doodles, some which stuck out to me more than others. I somehow managed to doodle a small bear with a heart on its stomach. I cracked a small smile at the image, imagining the heart lighting up on my paper as I pressed the eraser of my pencil on it. I remembered what had happened last week, slowly frowning at the memories of my grandfather. I guess it was so hard to let him go. To lose someone is never easy, but I knew that moping and letting his memory get to me wouldn't do any good. I felt, though, that he was watching over me. As stupid as it may sound, I felt that I was somehow safe, like it was okay to not focus on school or my future or just live in my own little world. I could be a little girl and draw pictures instead, or plan out the rest of my life and be perfectly happy. Sadly, I knew that wasn't realistic. Graduation was slowly coming up in my mind and I wandered into the future once again. What was I going to do? It was hard to think about. At this rate, I just wanted to wing it. No decisions had to be made ahead of time in my little world. No disappointments would come out of whatever I decided to do in my little world. Hell, maybe I could have found a perfect magical love in my little world and life would turn out just like a dream. It was sad to think that my world wasn't real, yet my heart still wished that it was. I gently squeezed inside my chest, almost convincing me that magic could be real. My mind knew better. I let out a small sigh, letting my little world hide away in my thoughts as the class bell rang. Naomi and Susie smiled at me, making me feel a little better. At least I still had my friends. I quickly gathered my things and I left to my next class. My life became a blur. I was once again surrounded by people moving faster than myself as I walked through my life in slow motion. I felt that I could stop and the world would continue moving at high speed. Memories of childhood haunted me throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month. Soon I let my entire last semester passing by and I was on the cusp of graduating. I never felt more nervous about my life. What would happen after I touched my diploma? Would real life just sweep me away? Would I be left alone, devoid of my own doing? It was hard to say. I stared at the graduation forms covering my dining room table, unable to process all of the information on them. I'm going to graduate. My mind settled into a hushed rumble at the thought of graduating. I was nervous, excited, worried, bored, anxious, and angry all at once. What was I going to do? Where was I going to go after this was all over? What was in my future? And why did my house feel so empty? I sighed and put my forehead against the wood of the table. My head had begun to spin, I needed it to stop. Closing my eyes, I counted my heartbeat as it pounded in my head. What broke my concentration was the doorbell ringing. I lifted my head and walked over to the lobby to open the door. Who is it?
It's your father.
God. I felt my nervousness take hold of my emotions as I simply stood there, staring at the frosted glass on the door of my dad's figure. What?
I wanted to talk to you. It's important.
My father stepped in and looked around the lobby like an investigative health inspector. I couldn't help but press my lips together in irritation. What did he want to talk about?
You've kept the place clean. Good.
Okay.
I want to talk about your future.
Why?
That's not what I meant. I meant about you being part of Anderson Family Toys.
I stared. Was he serious right now? Did he really want to add another stress point in my life? I felt myself flare out of pure irritation with the topic. What about it?
Do you want to be part of the company?
Was he seriously asking this? You said I was...
I said, do you want to be part of the company?
I felt my mind go blank. Did I want to be part of the company? If this chance was real, it was my one chance to do what I wanted with that expectation over my head. I wanted to be free. I wanted to fly high and find my own path of life. If that was really a future with a company, I would be taken there my own choice on the command of my father. If my future took me far away, then I wanted that chance to go. No.
May I ask why?
I want to choose my own future. I felt my mind began to fill with ideas of the future, dreams and goals that I could possibly fulfill with a new freedom. I wanted to decide what to do with my life. If it's with Anderson Family Toys, then I want my heart to bring me there. My heart tensed in fear. Was he going to scold me? Was he going to hit me again?
You should do what makes you happy.
What?
I'll admit, I've been harsh on you. I thought that me pushing you would make you confident to take the family company. With you being in this place, though, I was worried that you'd turn out as curious as your grandfather.
Then why'd you send me here?
Because I wanted to see what you would do if you weren't constantly under my influence.
My dad placed a hand on my head and rubbed it gently as I stared up in confusion at him.
Looking at you now, I see a grown woman, ready to take on the world. I deeply regret not being the dad I was supposed to be.
Suddenly, I felt my dad pull me into an embrace, burying his head in my shoulder. I stared wide-eyed over his shoulder, unable to take in what was happening. Was he hugging me for real? Was he seriously in regret?
I should have let you be a kid a little while longer. Now that you're grown up, I can't guide you anymore.
I began to shake. This was real. This had to be. This was too emotional to be a dream. I gripped onto my dad, making sure my senses weren't lying to me.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm going through enough emotions right now.
I love you, sweetie.
And then I broke. He used to care. Okay, I'm not going to read that because I'm going to get really sad.
My baby girl. I'm so proud of you.
I leaned completely into my dad's embrace as he supported me to stand. I felt like a little girl again and was both pathetic and blissful. I didn't care. I was with my dad. My dad gently pulled away and kissed my forehead, letting me hiccup with a small smile.
No matter how old you are, you'll always be my little girl. I may have screwed up your childhood, but let me make it up to you in the future.
I nodded, wiping my eyes. I could finally have a dad who didn't see me as an investment but saw me as a daughter. My heart was jumping in my chest with joy while my mind filled with happy thoughts. I felt like I could do anything now. My dad rustled my hair a bit before stepping away from me.
Now, I have to take your mom out to dinner. It's been a while since we've gone out, but I think it's time to apologize to her as well. For being a burden she had to carry. She's always supported you from the sidelines, but I didn't let her completely be a wife and mother. It's time to make her happy now.
My dad and I smiled at each other. We understood each other now, and I was happy beyond words. My dad left my house, but I was not completely alone. I knew he would support me now with whatever I wanted to do. I smiled and held my hands to my chest, feeling my heart pulse. I'll be okay.
Yes, you will be.
I quickly turned to see a woman dressed in a black and gold dress smiling at me. It was as if she appeared out from thin air and I went into defense mode. Who are you?
Relax, relax. I'm just passing by.
What do you mean? How'd you get in here?
You don't need to know that. I only came here to pick up a little something, and then I'll be gone.
What? With a snap of the woman's fingers, I suddenly felt myself get warm. This feeling was familiar, but I couldn't pinpoint how. What was she doing to me? I watched as the woman walked to me and gently lifted my chin to look at my face with a smile.
A kiss for the road, sweetie. I had to do a lot of running around, and it's made me need a pick-me-up.
I felt myself nod. What was I doing? The woman smiled and gently lowered her face to kiss me. I felt like melting into the kiss, but I knew deep inside this was beyond wrong. What's going on? I felt my strength and energy drain from the kiss as soon as I felt my legs slightly wobble in weakness. The woman pulled away and placed a small purple vial in my hand.
Drink up, sweetie. You need it.
I nodded and opened the vial before pouring its contents into my mouth. It was sweet like fruit, but it wasn't overpowering and felt my energy return to my body at the last drop that dripped onto my tongue.
A gift from me, as a thank you for giving me the strength to finally take what is mine.
What is yours? This woman smiled before nodding to me and walking around me to the door. As she opened it and took a step out, she looked back to me.
Praetorium poscunt, quorege augurium, delir memoria, liberaret I am.
As she closed the door behind her, I suddenly felt my mind go back to being happy. What just happened? Oh right, my dad had just left. I felt more confident than ever and knew I could take on anything. I rushed over to the dining room and looked over at the graduation papers with a small smirk. I can do this. Even my graduation came along, eventually. I walked across the school stage and took hold of my diploma with grace. The rest of the story could almost be passed over. I graduated from school as one of the top 10 students in my class. My family was proud. But what of my future? Well, that was free for me to decide now. No longer would I have the future scaring me into a corner. I could choose my life on my own. That being said, I was still scared of where the future was going to take me. What did I want to do? Did I want to help to build a family company? Did I want to venture off on my own? Whatever I was going to do, I was going to do it with a smile on my face. I was happy and nothing could shake me down from that happiness. The next morning I woke up and took in all that had happened as if it was a dream. My life seemed to fall perfectly into place. It was almost surreal. I walked over to my balcony window and opened it, stepping onto the patio and staring into the sky. It was beautiful. The wind gently brushed over my face as I took in the smell of the morning. I felt a wave of confidence rush through my body as I stared into the sky. I'll be fine. I'll be just fine. I was confident that I could do anything now. My life was in my hands and I was strong enough to carry it. I was alone for now, yes, but eventually I knew I would be happy at the end of my journey. I still had 100 battles to face, 1,000 memories to make, 1,000,000 stories to write. This was just one of those stories. And that was my happily ever after. Dang. Okay guys, I'm going to end it here now that you saw the other two choices that happened. Personally, I liked this ending. Seems like it makes more sense, but I don't know. I'm not willing to believe that this is like totally the end with the demons and stuff. So I feel like when I fought her, I'm not sure if she killed me or I like fell into their world. So I don't know. What do you guys think about the endings? Yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye.